can't think of a more rewarding experience than being on the river with your kids. I have two kids now, 13 and 10, and they've been exposed to kayaking their whole lives, as I've been a kayaker since they were born, obviously. The process of getting them from just being my kids that don't kayak to being self-sufficient kayakers that can join me on just about any river I run was one that was full of question marks for me. Number one, there's not a whole lot of examples out there to follow with kids kayaking, like how hard should you push them. So there are a few good success stories out there, but you really need to have some kind of an example to follow. Now I can tell you I've made a lot of mistakes. I've done things right and I've done things wrong. Everywhere from pushing my kids too hard at some point to going out kayaking without asking them to come along because I thought it'd be more convenient on the other end. And of course everywhere in between. What you're about to see is a couple of short little interviews with my daughter Emily and my son Dane, basically just to kind of give you a feeling of their mental state at that point, what they think of kayaking. One thing I can tell you for sure is that there's no reason, if you've got kids that can swim, not to put them in a boat, get them on calm water to start, and see if they like it. For one thing for sure is their learning curve is going to be steeper than any adult's learning curve could ever be. Number two, you're going to have paddling buddies for life, and it is unbelievable. There's no better thing to do than to expose your kids to a lifetime sport like kayaking. Just a couple suggestions I have. Number one, slalom kayaking or any kind of competitive kayaking is good on one end because it gives kids a reason to want to go down and try to learn new things. But at the same time, be careful because it's not the means to the end. You know, the end result that you're looking for is for them to just enjoy the sport as a recreation for their entire lives. Benefits are obvious: great physical exercise, connected to the outdoors, burn up energy that could otherwise go to a negative purposes instead of a positive purpose. So putting your kids in a kayak is a good thing. Now with the new Jackson kayak boats, the Fun One and the Two Fun, you've got boats that are perfectly sized for kids all the way up through your teenage kids. So no excuse not to get them on the water. You know, the hardest question you're going to find getting your kids on the water is what pace do you take them along at? You know, when do you try to get them to roll? When do you teach them to brace? When do you take them in the whitewater? My personal experience, I didn't teach my kids to roll for a long time. They paddled for years, goofing around in easy water and flat water before they decided they wanted to roll. I definitely could have got them rolling years before I did. I don't really know what the right answer is there for sure, but number one, you definitely don't want to scare them off. And you'll be surprised, they'll come up to you one day and say, okay, I'm ready to learn to roll. I know that happened to me, and I think that's probably the best way to go. Once it happens, you don't regret waiting.
The idea of rolling was by far the most terrifying experience that I ever thought I could possibly experience. But after learning how to roll, it became way less scary, and after much practice, I'm not scared of it at all.
Why did you decide to learn to roll that one day?
I decided to learn to roll that one day because I found out that Emily wanted to learn how to roll, and she had accomplished a couple rolls, and I just felt like I needed to accomplish some of those things too.
One of my favorite parts of kayaking has to be playing Simon Says with Dane, which is flipping over and kissing your spray skirt and your paddle and doing funny faces underwater and practicing your roll.
Oh yeah, cool.
It's not hard to me anymore. I actually think it's fun tipping over because you feel the pressure all over your body when you're upside down, and you just want to hang out under there a couple minutes before you roll up.
One day I was at home and decided I wanted to learn how to roll. So I asked my dad, and he took me down here to Rock Island Hole, and in minutes I learned how to roll and overachieved it mentally.
I'd say my most favorite thing to do is tip over and cartwheels and loops.
Oh yeah. Have your new move.
I started to make up a new move that I'm going to try out the third wave next time I go boating. It's called the Troublemaker.
To all kids out there, I suggest that they all go and try kayaking because it becomes one of the most rewarding and best experiences of your life.
For kids out there, I think when you wake up, you're about to go boating, you've never been it before, you get in, you got to do your rolling, bracing. Then you go down the river, you find a nice play spot, and get your first ender in a combat roll. And then you finish your day with a lot of accomplishment in your day. And then to people, it should be like a dream come true, a dream full of achievement.
Okay, to all you people out there, one more thing I'd like to add is don't give up, because it's something that everyone should try, because it's an amazing feeling being able to roll and kayak. So don't give up.